For as the days of Noah were, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. For as in those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day Noah entered the ark. They knew nothing until the flood came and swept them all away. So too will be the coming of the Son of Man. Then two will be in the field, one will be taken and one will be left. Two women will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken and one will be left. Keep awake therefore, for you do not know what day your Lord is coming. But understand this, if the owner of the house had known in what part of the night the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and would not have let his house to be broken into. Therefore, you also must be prepared, for at an hour you do not expect, the Son of Man is coming. Good morning. Welcome to a short biblical reflection on the Gospel according to Matthew chapter 24, in the lectionary from verse 37 up to verse 44. It is the Gospel reading for the first Sunday of Advent in year A. In the lectionary just starts with this comparison concerning Noah. However, we should add also the preceding verse because it is an integral part of this Gospel reading. But about the day and the hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. And therefore are giving two examples. Firstly, taking the story of Noah, the flood, and then this double comparison that two working in a field, two men, and then two women grinding in the mill, one taken and one left. And then in conclusion is restated concerning the coming of the Lord, as it is already said twice, but as in the days of Noah, so will be the coming of the Son of Man, so too will be the coming Son of Man. And now you do not know the day what the Lord is coming, as in verse 36, that about the day and the hour no one knows, only the Father. And then again comparison, that if an owner knew about the coming of a thief, he would be prepared. So therefore we should also be prepared in that same way, for we do not know, we do not expect the time of the coming of the Son of Man. Let's look at the literal context, at the verses that precede immediately our passage of the Gospel. From the beginning of chapter 24, there is a matter concerning the temple when Jesus tells them, "Truly I tell you, not one stone will be left here upon another, all will be thrown down." And then to the following question, "Tell us when this will be, and what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age?" Just answers extensively, talking about persecution, also false Messiah. I just kept several verses, and let me just read from verse 27. "For as the lightning comes from the east and flashes as far as the west, so the coming of the Son of Man. Wherever the corpse is, there the eagles will be gathered." Verse 28 I translated very literally because many translations render it in the following way: "Wherever the corpse is, there the vultures will be gathered." Translating that way, the symbol is hidden because the literal meaning is eagles. Eagles were the signs, the emblems that the Roman soldiers were carrying. In that way, Jesus states that so will be the coming of the Son of Man at his death, because where his dead body will be, the Romans, the eagles, will be gathered also there. In following verses from verse 29, which I highlighted in blue, those verses refer to the second coming. I just read verse 30. "Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, and then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory." Then in verse 34, which precedes immediately our passage of the Gospel, Jesus says, Truly I tell you, this generation will not pass away until all these things will have taken place. Number of even Christian apologists, preachers in 20th century, or some again who lost faith, interpreted that statement because limiting it in the understanding as referring only the speech of Jesus to the second coming, but Jesus was at this point mistaken. Even some called Jesus as false prophet or mistaken prophet. Why, if we interpret that statement not as referring to the second coming, but as referring to the first coming of Jesus, as I stated concerning verses 27 and 28, so will be the coming of the Son of Man at the time of Jesus' death, because where the eagles, the Romans will be gathered, then those things have taken place in the first generation, and also similarly the persecution which happened, which broke after Jesus' death and resurrection. And therefore, from that perspective, we could also have a fresh look at our passage of the Gospel. Since in the preceding verses we have both reference to the first coming of Jesus and the second coming, in other words, those two statements embrace the whole period of time from the first up to the second, and therefore at any time the coming of Jesus. In the same way, we can also read our passage of the Gospel not only exclusively as it looks like referring to the second coming, but also possibly to any time, because there are people who tend just to limit those verses to interpret to the second coming with that expectation, or when Jesus will finally come, like kind of curiosity, not being really prepared. Only if they will hear when Jesus coming, then they would just start like preparation, forgetting about what is said in verse 36. But that about the day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Now the Son means the human nature of Jesus, not his divinity. And therefore, if we apply it also to any time, therefore it calls for us to be constantly prepared at any time, because even young and healthy people die. They are called at any moment and they do not expect it. I would like to wish you a nice day and fruitful reflection on this gospel reading. God bless you.